On this exact day, 70 years ago, at almost this exact time, David Ben-Gurion declared Israel's independence. Just 11 minutes later, President Harry Truman caused the United States to be the very first nation to recognize the reborn state of Israel. He later regretted that he waited so long. 70 years since that memorable event, almost to the minute, the United States finally takes the next step, a step awaited, voted upon, litigated, and prayed for all these years. Today, we opened the United States Embassy in Jerusalem, Israel. Again, the United States leads the way as the first nation to do so. So many have worked so hard and for so long for this day to come, and they all deserve our thanks. But make no mistake, today's historic event is attributed to the vision, the courage, and the moral clarity of one person to whom we owe an enormous and eternal debt of gratitude, President Donald J. Trump. We have among us an extraordinary gathering of American patriots and Israeli leaders. I'd like to recognize a few of them. From our host country, the President of the State of Israel, His Excellency Reuven Rivlin, and wishing the best to your wife, Nechama. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, and his wife, Sarah. The Mayor of Jerusalem, Nir Barkat, and his wife, Beverly. The Speaker of the Knesset, Yuli-Yoel Edelstein, and his wife, Irina. The Leader of the Opposition, Isaac Herzog, and his wife, Michal. The Deputy Chief Justice of the Israel Supreme Court, Hanan Meltzer. The head of the Israel Defense Forces, General Gadi Eisenkot. The Ashkenazi Chief Rabbi of Israel, Rav David Lau. The Sephardi Chief Rabbi of Israel, Rav Yitzchak Yosef. And the former Chief Rabbi of Israel, Rav Yisrael Meir Lau. And all the ministers, cabinet members, members of the Knesset, members of the IDF, mayors, and religious leaders. From the executive branch of the United States government, it is my pleasure to welcome the leader of the President's delegation, the Deputy Secretary of State, John J. Sullivan. And the 77th Secretary of the Treasury, Stephen Mnuchin. President Trump's senior advisor, Jared Kushner. President Trump's daughter and senior advisor, Ivanka Trump. President Trump's special representative for international negotiations, Jason Greenblatt. The United States Ambassador to Italy, Lou Eisenberg. Assistant Secretary of State, Nicole Nason, and Acting Assistant Secretary of State, David Satterfield. From the legislative branch, we have 4 senators whose support for Israel is legendary. Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator Ted Cruz. Senator Dean Heller, and Senator Mike Lee. Thank you for coming. And from our House of Representatives, a delegation led by Congressman Joe Wilson, Congressman Tom Rice, Congressman Steve Knight, Congressman Dennis Ross, Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart, Congressman Jody Heiss, Congressman Scott Taylor, Congressman Lee Zeldin, Congressman George Holding, and Congressman Ron DeSantis. Just last year, Congressman DeSantis stood at a podium here in Jerusalem and made a passionate and compelling case that this day would come, and so it has. I'd also like to welcome the governor of my home state of Florida, who also has been a strong advocate for Jerusalem, Governor Rick Scott. In 1995, the Jerusalem Embassy Act became law, voted in favor overwhelmingly by both houses of Congress, and led, I should add, by a former senator who is here today, Senator Joseph Lieberman. That law, which was reaffirmed just last year by a vote of 90-0 in the Senate, declared Jerusalem to be the capital of Israel and mandated the move of the embassy. 23 long years have passed since the transfer of the embassy became the law of the land. But today, we keep our promise to the American people, and we extend to Israel the same right we extend to every other nation, the right to designate its capital city. A capital city, I should add, which houses all three seats of government, with a 3,000-year-old history dating back to the time when King David made Jerusalem the capital of ancient Israel. Jerusalem has inspired Americans since well before the founding of our republic. John Winthrop, in 1630, as he approached Massachusetts Bay, spoke of his quest to build the New Jerusalem as a city on a hill, a phrase later expanded by President Reagan to be a shining city on a hill. The United States established its consulate in Jerusalem in 1844, 104 years before the birth of the State of Israel. And President Lincoln, relaxing for the first time in years as the Civil War came to an end, told his wife, Mary, that it was finally time for him to take some rest, and he expressed his hope and desire to visit the holy city of Jerusalem. Many say that those were his last words as he sat next to her in Ford's Theater. I think President Lincoln is smiling today as another great Republican, Donald J. Trump, opens our embassy in the city that Lincoln admired so much. I would like to thank the faith leaders who are here and the entire faith community for their support. And I'd like to now call upon two of them, Dr. Robert Jeffress of the First Baptist Church of Dallas, along with Rabbi Zalman Wallowik from Chabad, to offer a few words of inspiration.